welcome back to the Unwrapped Podcast.
I'm Kallie.
I'm Christina. If you forgot about us,
Yes, we're still alive. We're here.
We swear we're still here. But we are so excited to be back with you. Yeah. How are you, Kallie?
Oh, so good. It's been busy, right? Like, yeah. So just glad to be back.
All good things. Yeah.
All good things. Yeah. Like everything's been so great, but it's just one of those things when all of a sudden we're like, oh crap, we haven't recorded a podcast in forever. So
yeah. It's not because we didn't want to. Yeah. We went to SAWC fall, which I love it because it's close. I'm out of California, so it's close to me. But for us, because SAWC spring is so big, and that's when like everything's new, new topics, new products and stuff. We have a lot more to talk about because I feel like obviously fall is smaller, but it's a lot of what we already saw in spring. Yeah. So we didn't have much to report there. And then we knew all of this kind of changes with regulatory stuff was happening. And so we were like, you know what, let's just kind of wait and see what happens so we can give you a good episode, a robust episode. So that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So hope you enjoy. As always, it's just us talking through everything that's happening. And we're excited for next year for what this podcast brings. So let's dive into it.
Yeah, let's go. Hello, everybody. I know it's been a little bit, and we swear it was for good reason. We've just been really busy.
Work is getting in the way of play.
Life is lifing, you know.
It's a busy time of year for both of us.
Yes.
Summer, fall.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. We have some really exciting stuff. Exciting? Big news?
Big news, exciting, a little like, okay. Yeah. Why are we feeling deja vu right now?
Yeah. So a little bit of that for y'all. But Kallie, what is your fun fact today?
Okay, so my fun fact is definitely in line with what our topic is. So back in September, I'm sure everybody in wound care, we saw it, right? The OIG dropped one of its biggest reports on like the wound care Medicare space. And they reported that Medicare spent over $10 billion. Yes, billion.
With a B.
With a capital B. On skin substitutes.
I was shocked. Were you shocked? I mean, we talk about this all the time. Yeah. And, in our meetings and stuff, we're always like, oh, it's a high number. It's a high number. Yeah. I did not know it was going to be in the billions.
No. And that's like, been working on this like really fun project for WCA, which, the company we work for and that sponsors this podcast. So anyways, this really super fun project. Can't say much on it. I was literally writing and I was like, did I get that right? Like, I had to, like, make sure, like, it was correct with a B and not an M for million. And I was like, $10 billion. Billion.
It's crazy. It's, I think when you look at those type of statistics, you're kind of like, oh, okay. That's why we needed some type of, we needed something, right? Because, I think the majority of us are in this for good and we're here to help patients. But, high numbers like this, high usage, like we're at least massive concern about fraud, massive concern about unnecessary use and miscoding for sure.
Absolutely. For sure. But also like, I mean, we didn't get a chance to do a recap of fall SAWC because again, life, work, everything got super busy. But do you remember, I picked Christina up from the airport and our other colleague because I'm in Utah, so I drive to Vegas. And we come out of the airport, which I almost just called it McCarran. It's no longer McCarran. But anyways.
Any crap. She used to live in Vegas.
I did my undergrad at UNLV. Go Rebels right now. Okay, anyways, that's neither here nor there. Except for the fact that they beat UCLA that weekend that we were SAWC. Ooh. Okay. I know. I was already giving him crap about it. But so we literally were driving out of the airport to get on to Maryland. And right there is a big flashy billboard for a skin substitute.
Which we've never seen before. I mean,
Never seen.
I don't know how many. I mean, I've been to a bunch of SAWCs. Kallie
Yeah.
has too, and especially in Vegas, right? Because SAWC Fall is always in Vegas.
Yeah.
I've never seen that type of marketing.
Yeah.
Like, but not just billboards. Remember when marketing started like getting pushed to our rooms individually?
Yes.
And, like it's wild, and you know that's not cheap.
No.
Sorry,
Well, you go to your
Vegas is expensive.
I know. When you go to your hotel room and you literally have like a little thing hanging on your door,
hanging on your door.
They found out who all is there for the conference, which is fine. But then they had to pay people to go up and down those halls. You guys, we almost died walking in the halls of Caesar's Palace because of the stupid
Why are
carpet.
they so unnecessary long? Okay, just a side vent. Do you remember? We, of course, I mean, this is the inevitable that, of course, we're at the end of the hallway. I know your room was really far, way further.
Literally, I could see the window.
2 different buildings. But I remember I was sweating. And also, you guys, when I got to my freaking 3,000-mile away room, my card didn't work. And let's not even talk about how terrible the carpet is for your suitcase. It is not suitcase friendly.
No, it's not. It is.
We want to do a whole episode on our frustrations about Caesar's Palace. Okay. I do love that hotel. I like it out of a lot of the ones on the strip. But the carpet kills me. It's so hard to drag. And then the towers are just so big and long.
So, and then I thought I got like a wrong room because like last year's room was not that nice. So I must have got like an updated like tower or whatever.
And you were like slowly redoing them.
Yeah. And I was like, did I accidentally like get an upgraded room because this is okay? But back to
you're VIP now.
No, because we don't work for a skin substitute company. Sorry, that was shade. Okay, so that was the first year I think outside of the hotel we saw stuff. Yes. Right?
Yeah, which we were like, dang.
Like a billboard right when you come out of the airport. So everybody flying in for this conference saw it. Like good for them, like great marketing. But like the amount of money that cost is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Unless they like have like a relative that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, what is it, Kallie? Too much of a good thing is never good. So that is what we're here to talk about, you guys. We also were reminiscing. It has been a year. So this time last year we came at you with our first episode. And now we're full circle talking about
the topic because we were literally laughing like, oh, CMS, they love to be the center of attention. It's almost Thanksgiving. This is going to be like, we were joking, like this could be a topic at the Thanksgiving table. And 100% it will be a topic at my Thanksgiving table because I am heated up.
Yeah. Well, also, this is huge. I mean, just to kind of circle back for our listeners who like don't understand the gravity of this. Obviously, we've been talking about since last year, right? Changes were coming. We didn't know what, we didn't know when. It kept getting pushed. And so it was kind of this thing that's been looming, I would say, all year.
Yeah, we even did an episode after that initial one to go over like what does this proposed LCD look like. And we're not even talking about that LCD today. We are talking about something completely different that came not out of nowhere, but I think it felt like that to a lot of people. So it was like, late spring, early summer that they came out with this proposal for the physician fee schedule on skin substitutes. And then it was just like all of a sudden it's like final rule. This is it, effective January 1. And we were talking, whether it was last week or earlier this week of like, okay, the final rule came out for this, but like a lot of people are forgetting that other LCD that we had, have an episode on is also proposed to go in effect January 1. So like next year could be literally wild for the skin substitute.
January 1 is going to be hot. And it's going to be hot for a couple reasons. But just to back up, I was even telling Kallie last night when we were talking, like, I feel like when the bomb hit last year, everyone was like panicking, right? Up in arms. And then it kept getting pushed. Okay. And so I think then it was just like, again, this thing that's been looming. And now this came out and it's been quiet. And I asked you, I'm like, have you heard stuff? Like, am I not on LinkedIn enough? Like, I'm not hearing the rumblings that we heard last time. And you brought up such a good point of, I think people, because of it's been pushed off for so long, people are just kind of waiting, and rightfully so. There are 3 big things coming out, you guys. So we had one of the things that she's talking about is the CMS final rule, which came out, which is going to be effective January 1. But let's not forget, guys, there are 2 other things pending that are supposed to come out January 1. Now, if they actually do, we don't know because things keep getting pushed. But if you don't know, the final rule, so the physician fee schedule final rule is out effective January 1. The LCD for skin subs is expected for January, and the OPPS final rule changes for skin subs are also effective January. You guys, this is such a unique moment. We have never had coding, payment, and coverage all change at the same time. I mean, it's rare. And this is rare in our industry. So this is going to hit. This is going to hit hard, especially for haven't been prepping. That's the biggest thing I want everyone to get out of this. If you haven't been prepping, now's the time. You got a couple months. You got to prepare for what's coming because it's going to come.
It's going to come. And like, I think we've been saying this for the entire year. Like, okay, even if what they're already proposing right now doesn't come, something is coming, right? And I think, them doing this final rule for the physician fee schedule, like that's the first big, that is through. That is a final rule. And I do feel like a lot of people, I don't want to use the word jaded, but we're a little skeptical. Like, okay, we've been talking about these big changes for over a year now. Is this actually going to happen? We'll continue on our merry way. We're not going to care about it until it, final rule goes into effect.
I mean, Kallie, what did we hear at the conference? I think we heard like 2 different perspectives, right? Oh yeah, it's coming, but I'm not worried about it. We're 3 perspectives. I take that back. 1, it's coming. We're not worried. We're good. Doing the right thing. Cool. Number 2 is it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm not worried about it. Okay. And the third one is, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That shocked, right?
Yes. Yeah, I was like,
especially providers who were like, I don't know what you're talking about. That I definitely think even if it doesn't like end up happening, you still should just prep, like be prepared, read up on about it. Obviously it's a lot, guys. We're not going to dive into that like nitty gritty because this episode would be too long, but we definitely want to hit key points and we want to give you guys resources to dig in deeper. Cause again, this is just our opinion. This is kind of how we broke it down, what we're reading, what we think we're seeing. Do your own research. Don't take our word for it, but definitely be prepared.
Yeah. And if you have questions, like feel free to reach out to us. We'll break it down even further. When this episode airs, we'll have a blog post up on the WCA.com. We'll have Glenn link it as well, which Glenn's our producer. Shout out, Glenn. Hey, Glenn. Sorry for all the editing you're going to have to do with this episode because my dogs, it's trash day. So everybody's out in the streets and my dogs are not on it. Anyways, we'll have that blog. You can get into, kind of like the key points that you need to look out for. If you're working in a hospital outpatient department, what does this mean to you? We'll talk about some of those today as well. But really, again, and we will keep you updated as, January 1 kind of looms and it comes, right? And then, of course, after that, we'll have an episode breaking down, did it happen? I don't know. Should we take bets? I feel like you guys drop in the comments what's going to happen January 1. We know this one's happening, but are the other 2 that Christina laid out, what is it going to be? Okay, but Christina, when you were talking about like the third perspectives, it wasn't just providers that didn't know. It was like reps for some of these companies. They're like, what are you talking about? We're like, what do you mean? What are we talking about? Like, so also I feel like not just in like the wound centers, you need to prepare. If you're working for a product company, a vendor that is supplying these skin substitutes, have a team meeting, talk about it. What will this look like for your company come January 1, right? Because if the LCD goes into effect, not every skin substitute out there is going to be covered by CMS, which, as we know, the majority of wound care patients are Medicare patients. And that's why I think people are like, well, they can still get it. Yeah, cash payers can get it. Some private insurance payers can get it. But a lot of times, private insurance follows what CMS does.
I mean, a lot of them do. And, even now, sometimes we get approval and we're like, oh, okay. But we always like to err on the side of caution and we review everything as if it was Medicare, just because we know they're going to be the strictest. So, again, just whatever you guys are doing in your practice, just be up to speed at least to kind of know, because I think those that just have no idea, like you just got to read up on it and understand it. It's a lot. It is a lot of medical jargon. If you're not familiar with that, if you're new to this industry, working for one of these companies, it's a lot. But you know what? We got things like Chat GPT to break it down for you. So
Well, and I would say that too. And I feel like, us over here at WCA, we hate the $5 medical, jargon words. Like, we're going to break it down
yeah,
real world. What does it mean to the everyday person? What does it mean to the people new to wound care? So hopefully, like after this episode, after a few blogs we post, we'll do another guidebook as well once, things are settled and the dust has, and this is like exactly what's happening. We'll do another guidebook. Christine and I will walk you through it. But really, I think, so going back to what we know is going to happen and go into effect January 1, that is the Medicare physician fee schedule.
yes.
So I think to talk about that. So really what's going to happen come January 1 is that CMS will no longer pay skin substitutes under the individual drug biologic code. So basically, it's going to go under a single flat incident to supply rate, and they're saying approximately $127
Mhm.
per application, regardless of brand or product type. So that is huge, because when we're talking about like that $10 billion spending of Medicare to skin substitutes, this is one way we're combating that. Like, right? Like, we can't have Medicare spending that much money on one, therapy. So, um, Christina, like we talked about, we don't want to get super into the weeds, but know that. So, it's going to go into like that flat fee. Um, when it really comes to, because our bread and butter is hospital outpatient wound care centers, right? Like, this podcast is for everybody in that wound care space, healthcare space, but really what we want to focus on is, what does this mean for that outpatient hospital-based wound care center? Because Christine, like you said, we look at everything anyways, no matter
Mhm.
what, to make sure that it's, going to be covered. But this particular ruling won't have that big of an impact on what the hospital outpatient centers are already doing when it comes to payment and everything. What it will have an impact on, though, is that you could see more volume come next year, because office settings and mobile wound care settings are going to get hit hard because their reimbursement is getting cut so much. And so, I don't want to see anybody go out of business, but there could be a lot of mobile wound care, could be office settings that just can't cut it anymore.
Yeah.
And cut, for lack of a better term, no. But anyways, so, our hospital-based centers could see more volume come back. And I think, Christine, you and I were talking about that, like, how can we make sure our own centers are prepared for this? And I think we're going to get a lot of just like patients that are going to feel like they were abandoned, right?
I mean, yeah, what's interesting, well, not interesting, but what's funny is what we saw in these last couple years as well is a lot of our patients ended up getting confused because, they got hospitalized and then mobile wound care took over their care, or home health had in whatever providers. And so already patients were like, well, who do I go to? Like, who am I following up with? And so now it's like, let's say they did switch their care to a different setting, and now that setting's gone, and they're like, where do we go? And so I agree with you. Patients are going to be confused and lost because they don't know these things that are changing. And so I hope that there's some type of messaging out there for them, that they're not just kind of lost in the wind. But certainly outpatient centers, wound care, hospital centers, be prepared that these patients, you're going to get an influx of calls probably of like, hi, I was being taken care of by so and so, I don't know what to do, can I come see you? So that definitely is something that I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. And I think also, when you're talking about what else you can do to be prepared, please, please, please review your skin substitute inventory and your pricing models. And also, I'm going to go one step further, and I don't want to like scare people or bash anybody, but like, please be aware of who's coming into your wound centers right now. Reps, distributors, and they're saying, I can give you like super special pricing on 31 different products, they're trying to get rid of their inventory and they're trying to offload their inventory on you in the wound care center. So I just want to say, like, be aware of that. Like, I'm not saying everybody's doing it. I'm not naming names. I'm just saying this is something that's actually happening. We're seeing it in our centers, right? That, we support. And luckily, we have a great procedure for those types of things because we do have like a full product council. So we kind of help take that burden off of the individual centers and they just get to pass them off to us, right? To talk. But it's like every week right now, right for the past couple of months that they're coming in like, we can give you special pricing, you should do this, you should do that. And it's like, wait, hold up, pump the brakes. First of all, like, what is actually that you're selling? Anytime a rep tells you special pricing, red flag should go up.
Yeah, like why? That sounds too good to be true. It might be.
And also, you don't want to, let's say that LCD, I know we're kind of going off a tangent again, but like, let's say that other LCD goes in effect January 1 and you've got a bunch of product on hand that is no longer covered by CMS.
Yeah. And you know what? It like, again, we love our vendors, we love our partners. There's always somebody out there that yeah, that ruins it for everyone, right? And so I would just say like if you want to talk to these people and want to pursue that, like just wait till the final rule before you make big financial decisions like that. Because you just don't know what's going to happen and we don't want you to be stuck with all this inventory that you can't use.
Yeah, which is why we really want to talk about not more the nitty gritty of what's going to happen. It's more like how to prepare for this.
Yeah.
What does that bottom line look like when it comes? And again, this is all, do your own research, look at it for yourself. This is just our opinion. And we do think that there's going to be a shift back in volume increase back in that, outpatient setting. So look at your staffing models, look at your current patient volume right now, look at your community education. How are you? Like Christina said, hopefully patients are getting some type of messaging, like what to do, where to find, care.
I think reconnecting with your emergency departments of letting them know, because at the end of the day, that's where the patients are going to end up going if their backs up are against the wall. They don't know where else to go. They're going to go to your emergency department. Educate your emergency department of like, hey, things have been changing in the reimbursement world. You may see an uptick in wound care. This is how we can partner together. This is how we can connect. I think that would be a good thing to do.
No, absolutely. And that, your private offices in your community as well. A good time to call them. Say, hey, this is what this is what's coming. This is what we could see. If you have someone, with a challenging wound
that you can't care for, be a partner. It doesn't have to be you guys against one another for sure. Like this is about the patient, you guys, at the end of the day.
It's about the patient. And I know that like sometimes at the private office or like your primary care providers are like, well, that's my patient. I don't know what's happening. Like when you refer them to the outpatient setting, like that outpatient setting will be calling you with updates, or at least they should be, right? Have that open dialogue of like, hey, I'm seeing them for other stuff because we all know wound care patients have a lot of other stuff going on. Yes. So it's like, I'm seeing them for this. Can you at least give me an update on where their wound's at, what you're doing for your wound, so I can also talk to them about that? Because like I know like this saying is for like raising children, it takes a village, but honestly, healing wounds takes a village. So
because there's just so many comorbidities tied to it. So, okay. So that's what's happening. That was the fee schedule, guys. The thing that's still coming up. So that we talked about previously, I'm just going to kind of quickly recap, is the LCD changes coming possibly in January. What does this mean? So this is really going to outline documentation and coverage. So this is really, again, they did tighter definitions for different things: wound types, number of applications, fill conservative care, documentation requirements. Listen to our old podcast because we really dive into what each of these topics mean, but that's what the LCD is going to cover. So the final rule is more for pricing and what changes there. The LCD is going to be documentation and how you want to tighten that up and make sure patients that you're going to use these products on are actually covered.
And it also lays out what products are approved.
Yes.
So that's also something you're going to want to take a look at. Again, like Christina said, go check out, our episode on that. But also we do have a guidebook up that you can download that goes over those changes. again, it's very clear that that's proposed. This is not anything that's current right now. I just want to put that, disclaimer out there. And then come January 1, depending on what happens, Christina, I will walk you through that, whether it got pushed again or, okay, buckle up because this just went into effect. So,
Yes. And then the third thing that is going to come out possibly is the OPPS changes coming in January. Kallie, I know I love your blog. I'm excited for everyone to read it. Can you break that down for us? Kind of like what you talked about in the blog?
okay, so the OPPS schedule, or what CMS is going to do that. This is what's confusing about CMS is they threw out the LCD, and then within like a week of each other, they put out the proposed physician fee schedule, which is what we've been talking about that went into final ruling. And then they threw out the OPPS. So for the OPPS, really, when it comes down to it, it's just so both of them align. So the OPPS and the physician fee schedule align in their approach, which means, they're, unpackaging the product from a procedure payment to a base payment. They're using the FDA regulatory categories for grouping. So that means that CMS wants to group and pay for skin substitutes products based on their relevant product characteristics that are consistent with their FDA regulatory status. So they're finally recognizing that not every skin substitute is the same, right? Like you have all the different biologics when it comes into it. So they're really trying to group it differently, right? We've got, placentia based skin substitutes. We have fish, right? Like all these different things. We have bovine. So they're just trying to break it out. So into different categories based on their FDA versus grouping them all as one, saying they all are the same.
Which
So,
I actually really like because I've always been saying that, a lot of hospitals or providers have asked, like, which ones do I pick? And I've
yeah.
always said, like, don't have one of the exact same, like, have a variety, have a
Mhm.
bovine, have a fish, have a placental, have one that's amnion and chorion, have one that's
Yeah.
just chorion, right? And so that way you have more because, in the bucket, it's the same, but like they each do. And I think their research has shown they each do different,
Yeah.
so have a variety. And I love that they're separating it out because I think that'll help people understand that the mechanisms of action may be different.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. So they will be categorized, like we said, by their FDA status. So whether it's human cells, tissue, cellular, and tissue-based products. So, you're going to want to look at that 361 HCTP. They're going to also have another category with devices with pre-market approval, so your PMAs, and then devices cleared with the 510K pathways. So
Mhm.
really it's just breaking it down so not everything is paid as the same as the other. Like Christina said, things change, and also patients, right? Some patients can't use certain types. You have to be aware of what your patient can or cannot because of their personal beliefs. Yeah, and I think that's why it's good to have this separated so the doctor, like, the center isn't being penalized because maybe in the area that they're at, that we have a high large patient demographic that can't use certain types of, products. Um so with the outpatient prospective payment system, that OPPS, CMS would also really, like, the brass tacks is this, the OPPS is just aligning with that physician fee schedule.
Yeah.
So that way, what's going on in the outpatient is what's going on in the private office and the mobile sector of wound care. Putting it all on the same playing field. Everyone is getting the same fee schedule. They're all being cleared by their FDA status and characteristics and being grouped. Again, and then we have that LCD. Like, this is why Christina made a joke. Like, this could be a 3-hour long podcast episode on everything that CMS is doing.
But I think the key thing across that we're like, as we researched it and now we're talking about it, is like the main thing is consistency. They're just trying to get consistency across the board, which I think is a good thing. I think, we do need, it's kind of been a little bit crazy. And I think this will definitely help a lot of us, hurt other people. But at the end, I think overall it's what's best for the patient. So what does this mean for us, right? What does this mean for clinics, hospitals, manufacturers, patients? Um, that's, I think, the nitty gritty of like what everyone needs to know. So I think for clinics, what does this mean? You guys have to get your documentation in order. You have to have checklists, have maybe a core team that are your SMEs, your subject matter experts on this that can review each, each chart. Just be prepared, get it done. I think checklists, educating your providers, educating your nursing staff as well is just a great thing to have regardless. But I think that's the biggest thing. You're going to have lower margins on product heavy cases. So it's not going to be really, I guess the word I'm trying to say without, again, this is not to knock anyone, but you're not choosing product based off of reimbursement. You're choosing product that's best for the patient. But it will, really tie that what you're applying in this patient that you want to use it on really this is the best thing for them. For hospitals, again, you're going to have less incentive on high cost biologics. You're going to have to probably renegotiate contracts with these vendors. More compliance regulations, obviously. And then, you're going to have to probably shift things for workflow, inventory, and tracking, right? You're going to want to make sure you're getting all of those squared away as well. Manufacturers, I think we're going to lose some, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we're going to see a lot of, and this is also, it's never a good thing, but when we're talking about like innovation and new therapies and new products, we're going to see some vendors that won't make it because they don't have anything new to offer. They were created the same thing, and CMS is like, wait. Why would we have 10 of the same exact thing? They're all doing the same exact thing. And one of them did all the research. So the other ones, because here's the thing about research with products. And I know this is another tangent, but if you have all the same ingredients, all the same everything as another product that's already went through research, you don't have to go through all of that rigorous research and doing all that stuff. You can just say, hey, well, we match this. So I think that's why CMS is also limiting with that LCD what products are approved and not, because they're going, hey, like these guys did all the mandatory research. They had the randomized control trial. They had the patient population with these trials. So we know that they are safe and effective. So we're going to use those.
Yeah.
Sorry, all you other little guys, which is, like, again, it's never a good thing for the small guy to get, but if you truly have a new product, it's new, innovative, and you put it through the randomized control trial, CMS will recognize that. So
that's the reality, I think, is these small companies, they're just not going to survive this standardized supply rate. And that's sad, but that's kind of the reality. You mentioned it, right? We're going to see heavy discounting. We're going to see mergers. Obviously, these bigger companies are going to acquire these other ones, maybe if they like your product. And so I think that's going to be big on the manufacturing world. Losing companies, mergers, heavy discounting, just major consolidation coming.
Yeah. And I think, I know you have it more or less, so I'll hold my comments until you're done.
No, just the last one was for patients. Like, what does this mean for the patients?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be better for you guys. There's going to be more uniform access nationwide, less overuse medical clinical decision making for you guys, and basically more scrutiny on outcomes and progress. We are going to be looking more of like, is this working for you? And this isn't to penalize you as the patient. It's to really see, is this product working for you? Because if it's not, we should move on to something else. Why use a product that's not increasing your chances of healing and stalling you out when we could be doing other things? I think that's my favorite part about wound care. We have so many different tools in our toolbox, and that's what I love. It's not just like, oh, we tried this, we don't know what else to do for you. No, we didn't try this. Cool, we have this. That doesn't work. We have this. There's so many options in our world that we can try, and that's the game of like trying, unfortunately, until one sticks. And that's our goal as your provider, is to find what we know works. So for patients, I think hopefully it's less confusing for you guys, less less cost for you. We already know our healthcare system is wild and can cost a lot already when you're in this and when you have a lot of comorbidities and you've been dealing with a chronic wound. So maybe this will help somehow your pocket at the end of the day. So those are kind of the what it means for all of these different regions. But what were you going to say, Kallie?
Well, I was just going to say, basically following up on what that means for the patients and like where to go for more support. So like my thing is in January 1, if that LCD does go in effect, if you are a caregiver or a patient that found this episode, please, please, please ask questions if they're putting on a skin substitute, especially if you're on Medicare. What is this? Is this an approved product? Because I do not want the patients to get saddled with the cost of a product because CMS won't cover it. And I'm not talking just like a couple $100s. I'm talking thousands of dollars that can fall on you, the patient, or the caregiver's, responsibility to pay. So I would just say keep that in mind. And, everyone in the clinic giving the care, whether you're outpatient, mobile, office, please keep that in mind. At the end of the day, these are patients. We're all human. We're all trying to get by. And like Christina said, our healthcare system is already like the wild, wild west. We don't need to add additional burden on patients that are just trying to, get healed and get on with their quality of life. So be aware of that. And then if you are a patient or if you are, a patient caregiver, like Christina's clinical team, always available to answer questions. Like we get reached out to by patients all the time. Don't be scared because, to reach out. And if you're looking for a center, we will help you find a center. So
At the end of the day, it's what you guys need. I mean, we get people commenting on our YouTube channel. We get emails, we get messages. Glenn's fantastic at making sure we see your questions and get you answers. So if you don't want to make it public and you just want to email us privately, absolutely. But yeah, wherever you feel comfortable, send a comment, questions, anything. We'll answer the best we can or give you the resources that we have or guide you to whatever resource to get.
Absolutely. And then when it comes to, our hospital outpatient wound care centers, if you have questions, call us. Literally at the end of the day, we just want to see every community have an advanced wound care center to heal patients, right? So give us a call. We have a ton of resources out there, and we will continue to monitor CMS, what the changes are, how this is going to affect everybody come January 1, what's it going to be. So if you're ever just confused, give us a call. We're more than happy to walk you through it. Again, highly emphasizing hospital-based wound care centers for that. We can answer questions for the other groups, but really we're, what we do at WCA is we support those wound care centers in the outpatient wound care setting. So that's kind of what, all our resources are guided for that. Not that we can't answer questions for everything else. We're here to help you succeed as well because you're healing patients.
Yeah.
But we just want to help, our hospital outpatient groups too.
Yeah. So I think kind of wrapping up everything we said, like, should we stop using skin subs? No. They're fantastic. They're still getting paid. They're still clinically important to what we do. We want them in our toolbox. Just be prepared.
Yes.
So just, again, we can't say it enough. Read, understand it, ask questions. So 60 to 90 days is going to be kind of, we'll get back to you guys. I mean, this is going to be our last episode for this year. And so kind of shifting gears a little bit. Thank you everyone that has listened. It's so cool for me and Kallie. We have gotten approached at conferences. We also have had comments from people in Canada, Europe, Texas. Like, it's just so cool that we're reaching people, which is what we wanted to do at the end of the day with this podcast. And the first time someone came up to me and Kallie, we were like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And we love hearing about each episode and when an episode touches you guys. I think we got more feedback on our Homeless Healthcare Initiative episode. And it got me so excited that more of you guys are wanting to do this at your hospital. Like, that's what this is about, sharing what we've done, giving you guys resources so you could do it at your facility. So again, it's been a really great year. We want to get a better schedule for next year. We want to bring more topics that matter to you guys. So let us know what you want to hear. We are planning out our episodes for next year. So now's the time.
Now is the time. And I will say that, like, to go off of that, this year's been so heavy on CMS episodes when we do get episodes out, because we want to make sure everyone's aware of what's going on. But because of, the success and the excitement over the homeless healthcare episode we definitely want to, more clinical conversations, right? We're going to do an episode on ostomy, which is kind of like that topic that doesn't really get brought up in wound care.
It did. And we met great people that have written papers, did posters about it. And so we're excited to do that. We want to even touch on like more things about research. I don't know about y'all, but I don't understand research. It's not my field. It's not what I'll be honest, that's not what I love, but it's important to what we do. So we wanted to bring somebody in that can help break it down. What does this mean to you as a wound care nurse in the clinic? How can you read it? How can you learn from it? How can you use it? We also want to bring more guest speakers on that have things they're passionate about, that want to talk about. So we are open to all ideas. So please, if you guys have anything that you want to talk about or hear us talk about, we'd love to have it. But I just want to say thank you. This has been really fun. It's, something me and Kallie just kind of wanted to do and didn't know that it would, I wouldn't say successful, but
it is. People. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that, started with us or found us along our journey. And we know that we were not consistent the last 5 months, 6 months. Things got busy. And at the end of the day, we had to put life first, work first before this. But we just want to say thank you for everyone that's just hung in there. And, has watched all of our episodes. I don't even know what the count came out to be. Not many. So
it's okay. It was our first year.
We're learning.
Yeah. It out, but we just can't stress enough how much you guys mean to us. And it's just, if you see us out in the wild, say, hey, we love it. We get excited about it when people are like, hey, do I know you from somewhere?
I don't know, do you?
I don't know. Anyway, just thank you guys. Have a safe holiday season.
Yes.
We can't wait to see you guys next year, and hopefully we'll have some more concrete things that have happened. But we will definitely see you guys next year. Be safe, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Unwrapped Podcast. We hope that you found the information and insights provided to be helpful in your wound care journey. If you have any questions you'd like to be answered on the podcast, we invite you to connect with us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And place your question or comment under the Unwrapped Podcast post. We look forward to bringing you more wound care insights. Thank you for listening.
Spend the day with me as the manager of a hyperbaric clinic. My favorite days usually start off with a matcha from my favorite coffee shop just down the street from the clinic. I then make my way to the department and say hi to my team. We discuss our patients, any new referrals, authorizations that need following up on. After our morning huddle, I gather quick updates on my clinic, like where my patients are coming from, how treatment is going, and then I just head out to hospital and clinics in the area. WCA gives me all the tools and resources to connect with providers and grow a referral base. This makes my day easier and gives me peace of mind. I had some really good meetings today, and I'm looking forward to helping more patients. If you have a hyperbaric clinic, check out WCA.